My name is Josh Belsham. I'm the Compliance Officer here at Yachting Queensland, but today I'm here to talk to you about safe boating out in the water there, and I'm here on behalf of Marine Queensland and Yachting Queensland. Now, the first thing I want to talk to you about today is your responsibility as a skipper. Right, so, talking about your general safety obligation, there are 3 simple points within that. So, it's the responsibility of the skipper to ensure the boat is safe, ensure the boat is properly equipped and crewed, and ensure the boat's operate in a safe manner. So that first one, ensuring the boat is safe. Now for most people, it's pretty obvious, but we often forget little things like making sure the bung is in the back of the boat. The bung obviously is like a little cork that keeps us afloat, so that's pretty important to us. Now some other obvious things to me are just things like batteries and fuel. Things are often overlooked, but if you ensure you have fresh fuel on board the boat and a good, clean, fresh battery, chances are you will get out there, have a great outcome, and come back with good memories. Now the alternative is you go out there, the boat sinks, you have a horrible time, or you get a fine or something goes wrong. But we want to make sure you go out there and do enjoy your boating. So the second key point is your responsibility as a skipper to ensure the boat is properly equipped and crewed. There's an easy way to do that, and Marine Queensland have produced this safe boating workbook just here, which has the A to Z of making sure the boat is properly equipped and crewed. But there's a table showing in here, and it will take you through everything. So there's 2 lists, there's 2 types of safety equipment. The first type, quite simply, is your compulsory equipment, whereas if you don't have it on board, the police pull you up, you get an on-the-spot fine. The second, type of equipment is the recommended stuff. So things like water, for example. If the police pull you up and you've got no water on board, there's no offence committed initially, but say you go out there and someone becomes ill, if there's no water on board, you will have to go explain yourself. So we'll come back to that soon, but first with that compulsory equipment. Now, the most obvious one to me, what we need on board is a life jacket. Now I mentioned before needing the bung to keep the boat afloat. Well, we need a life jacket to keep ourselves afloat. So first off, we've got life jackets that are appropriate for the area of operation and that fit everybody on board. And we'll go back into those in a bit more detail soon. The second important bit of equipment is a signalling device. So just quite simply a torch, glow stick, mirror at the very least, but something to attract attention in the case of distress. Now the third thing, is a fire extinguisher. Now fire extinguishers are only required by law in vessels over 5 metres. This is a 6 metre vessel, but in saying that, say you had a 4 metre vessel, a smaller, tinny, dinghy, something like that, where it's not required by law, it's still a very good bit of equipment to have. And at the end of the day, a fire on board a boat is horrific. So just to recap again, we had your life jackets, we had a signalling device, we had your fire extinguisher. Now the next 2 are only required when you're going in partially smooth or open waters. So when you're in partially smooth waters or beyond, we need to have the V-sheet and flares. Okay, now the last thing, which is only required if you're going more than 2 nautical miles past your furthest point of land or offshore, for example, is an EPIRB, right? Emergency Position Indicating Radio Beacon. The third thing I need to talk about today is quite simply ensuring the boat is operating in a safe manner. Now, in doing so, there are the 3 A's to consider. Firstly is attitude, secondly is awareness, and thirdly is the alcohol. That's a very important one. But firstly, that attitude. Now, a lot of people, my friends especially, when they talk about trip planning preparation, as far as they really go into is, all right, you grab the bait, I'll grab the beer, see you Saturday morning. And that's just not good enough. But what I'd like people to consider perhaps is 3 simple things like how far are they travelling throughout their trip, how long is that going to take, and how much fuel they need to get themselves out, get themselves back, and have some in reserve. All right, 3 very easy things to consider. The second one was that awareness. All right, now it's been identified in most major marine incidents that simply not watching where you're going was a major contributing factor. Okay, so when people get out in the boat, they tend to, lose sight of the bigger picture. They're having a lot of fun. So we're usually drinking too much as well, and they tend to just get a bit complacent, not really pay attention. So make sure firstly you are keeping a good lookout, watching in all directions, and at times of heightened risk, like at night time for example, keep an extra lookout with you as well. The last one's a really important point, the alcohol. Now, something that's not well understood by alcohol is that it's actually responsible for around 70% of the accidents in the waterway and close to 30% of the deaths. Now that is just not acceptable, but more importantly, it's a law. We do not drink and drive. The police are regularly putting people on the bag on the boat these days. They're doing constant safety checks. But if you lose your boat licence for drink driving, something that's not well understood is that there's a fair chance you'll also lose your car licence for drink driving. So myself, I like going to the shops to get some milk. I like the freedom I have by having a car licence, and if you enjoy that freedom, then what we ask is you also respect your boat licence, and by simply just not drinking and driving. So if you'd like to know more and enhance your skills and knowledge, I encourage you to look at more of these videos, or even subscribe to this channel, and go even further by looking at the Yachting Queensland and Marine Queensland websites.